I'm Sunny.
I'm Randi, and this is Bourbon, Wine, and True Crime, a show where three gracious but vulgar friends sit down once a week to drink virtually and discuss true crime. Hello,
Mm-hmm.
ladies.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
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 Oh, so nice to see your faces. I feel like it's been too
Cheers.
long.
It's been way too long.
I don't like it.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute this year.
Yeah, this episode is going to come out a little bit late, but we're still on track. It's okay. We deserve a break.
We had to have a little, we had a little right turn, and now we're back on track. And
yeah, side quest.
Everything's gonna be good.
Squirrel.
Yep.
Squirrel.
Little
Several.
side quest.
Several.
Yeah, a lot of squirrels. Like an army.
3 weeks of squirrels.
Yeah, 3 weeks of squirrels.
Squirrels.
Like really vicious squirrels.
Well, Halloween parties and birthday parties and Friendsgivings and.
Speaking of birthdays, what are we talking about today?
We are talking about a birthday crime that I found, and then you guys didn't tell me what you're talking about, so I'm kind of excited.
It's a secret.
Not for long. So I feel like we've covered pretty high profile or more commonly known crimes before. So this one was kind of a struggle because I couldn't find out a lot about this, but the case kind of resonated with me, so I decided to cover it anyway. But this is going to be crazy short. It's one of the most of the crimes that I read about or hear about are senseless, but this one is like particularly shitty. So today I will be talking about Sabrina Moss. She was murdered the day after her birthday. So she was a 24-year-old nursery school teacher, and she was out celebrating her birthday on the 24th of August, which was like the weekend after her birthday, like a day or two. On the 24th of August of 2012 in Kilburn, Northwest London, with her friend who's also named Sabrina, but Sabrina Gashett. They're out partying, they're vibing and doing their thing. They're outside of a takeaway shop called the Woody Grill. They just come out of a bar. They went to go get food, we all can relate to. So
they were a Woody Grill.
The wood. Mm-hmm. Oh, didn't miss that.
Yeah.
I'll take 2.
2 thanks, please, to go.
God, I hope my mother's not listening.
No, God.
How hilarious would it be if mine was? Like, please stop listening immediately, you monster of a human.
Did you guys ever have friends where it was just like, AJ, you and I used to do this, but where it was just something you'd get in a mood. Like we'd pass like Hollywood. This was, when it was still a thing, like back in high school. Then me and one of my friends would be like, hey, wood for like 5 minutes.
You do that now. What are you talking about?
I'm not more mature now. I'm just saying it started early.
Absolutely.
So as they were standing outside the shop, grabbing some food, they were shot by 2 hooded gunmen that were armed with a submachine gun and a sawed-off shotgun, which is pretty extreme. Sabrina was shot in the heart and died en route to the hospital, while her friend Sabrina Gashett was hit in the back by over 50 gunshot pellets, but she survived.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Good God.
Do we know exactly how old she was? I'm sorry if you said that, I missed it. I know that it was like a day after her birthday and they were at the Woody Grill, but how old were they?
Sabrina Moss was 24.
24.
I don't know how old her friend was.
Probably around the same age.
Yeah, incredibly young.
Yeah.
3 men were arrested in connection to the killing. Hassan Hussein, who is 29, Martell Warren, who is 22, and Yassine James, who is 20. They were later sentenced to life in prison with a minimum sentence of 37 years. Reed Daniel and Matthew Bosmata, 24 and 22 respectively, were also found guilty of perverting the course of justice because they destroyed the getaway driver's phones. The actual targets, and this is where it gets incredibly fucking stupid. The actual targets of the shooting were members of the South Kilburn gang, which the women happened to be standing next to at the takeaway store. None of the gang members were killed in the attack. And I thought it was interesting that they had a submachine gun and a sawed-off shotgun, because I know a sawed-off is illegal in the US. Like, you can't modify it to that extent. So I looked it up. Gun laws in the UK state that anyone who has served a prison sentence of 3 years or more is permanently banned from owning a firearm. But Hussein, who's one of the gunmen, had previously served a 5-year prison sentence for gross bodily harm after he stabbed his ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend 6 times.
Oh, he's an angel.
Yeah, lovely fucking person. But I know that's very short. I couldn't find anything else about this. But that is the short and tragic story of Sabrina Moss.
The
Well,
both Sabrinas.
Yeah, that would be
It's
fun.
very sad.
Like to have a friend that has your name, which
That has your name.
AJ, as you know, Sunny collects AJs. So
She
maybe we should do
does.
an AJ convention.
We
oh my
could.
God, we could
We,
do
we
an
could do
convention.
AJ crimes.
AJ crimes.
Ooh.
There was another Sunny in my class when I was in elementary school, and I did not like this, partially because I am special and you're not allowed to have my name. But the other part was because my last name started with P and her last name started with B, we were referred to as those. And so being Sunny P turns into Sunny PP really quickly. And wasn't a fan of that year. Not a fan.
No, I don't blame you.
I'm excited to hear what you guys are talking about.
Well, Sunny, would you like to be the middle of the sandwich, or would you like to be one of the bread pieces?
I love being the sandwich filling. That's like
being
my
the
favorite
sandwich
thing.
filling? Are we going vegan or vegetarian today? Or are we going to be
This
full-on
is definitely
carnivores?
like a meat lovers sort of
Nice.
a situation. But so the reason that we had picked birthday crimes is because Randy's birthday was this month.
Cheers!
Cheers! Yay!
Hashtag Scorpio season.
Well, so speaking of Scorpio season, because yes, Randy is a Scorpio. So this is sort of in kind of birthday related. It's a stretch. We're gonna go with it, kind of. But what I found really interesting in learning about Scorpios throughout the years from Randy is there are common threads that tie them together. And what was really interesting to me is the number of prolific serial killers that exist.
Okay.
That are Scorpios.
You and I should have discussed this before we got on, but I can't wait to hear what you got to say. All right, let's go.
So I essentially just went down a rabbit hole of a lot of the really famous serial killers that are Scorpios. There's a lot of them. It's not a few. It's not a couple. It's a whole bunch of them.
There's a lexicon.
And so now I'm slightly concerned about anyone who might have these birthdays.
I mean, I did jail time, so tracks.
I mean, it's, when it comes to like being a Leo as I am, I feel like we would be more like embezzling or doing something like outrageous, but like less serial killer. But this is just, it's a whole,
it's a thing.
It's a whole bunch of stuff. So a couple of the notorious ones that I started going down. So I did not know that Billy the Kid was a Scorpio.
That tracks.
That's pretty badass.
But he is. So obviously notorious after he killed 2 sheriff's deputies escaping from jail. Famous gunman. Charles Manson. Also a Scorpio.
Sure is.
Yeah,
we don't claim him.
Sharon. You can't sit with us.
He doesn't go here.
He doesn't go here.
Seat's taken.
Some of the and these are ones that we've heard of that are a little bit, I mean, everybody knows Charles Manson and Billy the Kid, but so another one is Joseph James D'Angelo, which is the Golden State Killer.
Ew.
He's a Scorpio as well, but wait, it gets worse. So we also have Robert Pickton, who is known as the Pig Farm Killer.
Yep.
Killed over 25 women. Yeah, and like the serial killers that are Scorpios, it's not usually just a few deaths.
No.
We have David Ray Parker, who was the toy box killer, the really, really sick guy who killed over 60 women in his weird torture chamber. We have some famous females. We have Mary Ann Cotton, who she killed over 11 of her own children and 3 of her husbands. So just a whole lot happening there. And then you had Belle Gunness, who I feel like we talked about. Yeah, we talked about her.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yep.
she's a Scorpio too. So the mistress of murder farms, and she butchered all of her suitors
Mhm.
And
out
her foster
there.
child.
And
Yep.
foster child.
And like a known woman because of the body.
Yes. Uh-huh. Yep.
Yeah. And then
Yep.
two other famous female, because female serial killers are not as frequent, and there's a lot of them that are Scorpios. So we also have Kristen Gilbert, which is the angel of death, who
she was a nurse.
Yeah, was a nurse and was overdosing, all of her patients, and sort of in her mind, she was doing a kindness, but
she was
not
relieving them of their pain.
I think hers started out as like not 100% horrible, but then she was just killing everybody.
And then it went a little bit bonkers. And then we have this one, she's just so creepy, Nanny Doss.
Oh yeah.
Who is known as
smiling granny.
The giggling granny.
Yep.
Who primarily was using poison, but she stabbed her granddaughter to death with a hat pin.
Ew.
And strangled her grandson. So the list went on for quite a while, but I did find it really fascinating, even though I don't really subscribe to, astrology or anything like that. I do find it fascinating that A, there are so many serial killers that are Scorpios, and B, that there are so many female serial killers that are Scorpios.
That is interesting.
The volume is of both murders per individual and then just the individuals doing it. It's intense. So cheers to all you Scorpios out there. I love you, and I'm here to support you through everything. Please don't kill me. Thank you.
Love you.
That's a perfect segue to my part of this contribution, which is my favorite Scorpio serial killer. And I use favorite very
loosely.
So this particular serial killer shares his exact birthday with our dearest, most fair, prettiest Randi. And that is a case that I covered in our first few episodes. And this is the witch doctor, Adolfo Costanzo. They kidnapped and murdered and had human sacrifices to help keep his drug cartel shrouded from the FBI until he kidnapped a young spring breaker in McAllen, Texas, and decided to take his heart and brain and eat his muscles to gain his strength and brains and intelligence.
Because that's how that works.
And they put his heart into the cauldron, into his witch shack, buried the body with a coat hanger around the spine so that as the body decomposed, he could pull out the spine and wear his necklace.
Was that the one where they found it was like migrant workers or villagers or something in the river or whatever, and they were like, oh, this is not a suspicious death, but they're missing like their brains and their spines?
So he did a lot of that.
They were like that already.
He had targeted a lot of like marginalized people that were, didn't have any money, but he made his last kidnapping and slaughter was this young white male. I don't remember the college he was from, but his parents were very aggressive in trying to find him, and they ended up like blowing open this whole case. But that's Adolfo Costanzo. So congratulations, born November 1st. It's lo mismo.
Thanks, I hate it.
But what is interesting though, so you have these factors that contribute to who you become as a person. So I was just having a conversation about nominative determinism the other day, which is like, is the name that you're given, does that affect your career choices and like what you do in life? And sometimes, so I'm blanking on some of the great examples of this, but there's a bunch where, your last name is something and then that's what you become. So I wonder if there are these factors of whatever it might be, but the day that you're born makes you want to murder. So
I mean, this guy was pretty, like you said, like the Scorpios in there, they're not just like a little bit bad, they're like a lot of
it's like
bad.
a lot.
It's like a lot.
Yeah, these aren't like one or two. This is 25 women, over 60 women,
brutal.
14 over 25 boys. Like it's just, and it keeps.
I mean,
I do want to say in defense of Scorpios, my sister's a Scorpio, and 3 of her greatest traits are A, and these are exactly like Randi, fiercely protective of those she loves.
Yeah.
Will trust you until you break her trust, and then she'll fuck your shit up. And then 3, she will love you until the day you die if you're loyal to her. Like, that's 3 very significant pieces of their character that I can see like threads of.
Yeah, I mean, like Sunny said, it's one of those things. Am I like this because I'm like this? Or am I like this? Like, is it a nature versus nurture? Have I read about Scorpios my whole life? And I'm like, oh, that sounds pretty dope.
Mm-hmm.
But I was listening to a podcast, the nature versus nurture argument. They're figuring out that they go hand in hand. So it's nature and nurture. And like, you guys know my story, like my background, if I turned into a serial killer, nobody would be surprised. But
you didn't.
I didn't, because I don't like hurting people. Like, if I've had a lot of people, and you guys know, I've had a lot of people that have like severely broken my trust. And as I get older, I don't get mad. You just stop existing. And this goes for family too. And I know a lot of people find it so weird that I can just disconnect so completely. Like, I think it's kind of like a sociopathic trait that I have. But I think that as I get older, I'm just like so committed to protecting like my space that I don't care what our history is. I don't care if you gave birth to me. I don't care if we grew up together. I'm protecting my little small circle of what I can protect. And I know that's crazy because, I mean, you guys have stories too about your family members, and you just kind of like keep them at arm's distance, but they're still in your life. And I know for me, I'm just like, you don't exist to me anymore. Like, I want nothing to do with you. Don't want to hear about you. And I know that's a little bit insane, but it works. And I still don't know.
But I think that if people had taken that approach over the decades, I think we would have a lot less like family annihilation, family
I agree.
Domestic violence, domestic disputes. If people had taken more of a protective approach and said, no, this is enough, like, I'm cutting everything off, like, birth or not birth, relation or not relation, like, I don't need you in my life, and I wish you nothing but the best, and thank you, but no.
There's 3 people in my life that are alive right now because I was like, if I kill you, I'm going to jail for somebody that I don't even like.
Yeah.
And I'd always like, if anybody's going through some shit and you're like contemplating murder, because there was one person in particular when I was a kid that I was like, I'm just gonna kill you. And sorry, Ruger's being loud. And I was like, how would those headlines look? So I'm just not gonna do it. No, that's what got me through my childhood. But
just like, they're probably going to use a picture of me on the side that I don't like. So just for that reason alone, not going to do it.
Well, along those same lines, let's talk about Sunny for a minute and being a Leo.
Oh,
I have been told that I'm a bad Leo.
You are a terrible Leo.
Because of her other famous birthday relationship is Harry Potter. I mean, hello. Super jealous. You're also the same date of birth as Heriberto Seda, often referred to as the New York Zodiac. He's an American serial killer who struck New York from 1990 to 1993, killing 3 people, wounding 6 officers, 4 critically. Seda is believed to have admired San Francisco Zodiac killer, and so he was a copycat. So just found it funny that there's not funny, but interesting, another serial killer, same birthday. I mean, there's only 365 days to choose from, so there's good chances are there's going to be a match. There's going to be one. So going to my big birthday, we hit on a woman.
Oh,
a woman serial killer named Juanetta Ethel Nixon, born May 13, 1946 in Richmond, New York, USA. Number of victims 5. Killed her victims by suffocation. Her confession of wanting to silence her children's crying was subsequently recanted, and she was diagnosed with dependent and avoidant personality disorders. Excuse me. Sorry. Pardon me. Thought to have suffered with Munchausen syndrome by proxy. So she was sentenced to 75 years to life, 15 years for each murder, to serve consecutively. She died in August of pancreatic cancer in the year of 1998.
Oh, I heard that's a bad way to go.
That's a bad way to go. So my darling girls, we are in good company with our birthdays.
Well, at
Or
least
shall we
there's
shall we
that.
say that they're in good company with our birthdays?
Well, Sunny shares a zodiac sign with my older brother, who is
Ooh.
a very stereotypical Leo, all of the negative traits. And so it's so funny when I found out she is a Leo, I'm like, no, you're not. What's your rising sign?
Right.
know,
And
I
I
know.
agree. Like, she's really not your typical Leo. Like,
I'm just
I
bad
had
at
a
it.
I had a previous friend that was a Leo. My ex-husband is a Leo. My current husband is a Leo. You're a Leo. There's a lot of Leos
Too
in my
many.
life. You collect AJs, I collect Leos.
Do you think
It's a thing.
Pedro is like a typical Leo? Is he really?
Yeah. Really?
Very much so. He is yeah, very much a Leo.
That's
Well,
so funny.
But he also has like his rising and his moon sign very much play into his personality, but he is very much a Leo. Yeah.
Well, Edmund is a Cancer, and he is your typical Cancer, which is good because I'm a typical Scorpio. So we need somebody to
Well,
be
yeah,
the
I know that
emotional
works
one.
well. That
Yeah.
works well.
That's good.
Mhm.
That's good. That's good.
Well, this will be a short one, which I hate because
Yeah.
I know this is coming out late as well. But like I said, we
But
needed
that's
a break.
okay.
But I think it works. I think it works.
Mhm.
I like
So
it short
thank
and
you for
sweet.
listening to Birthday Crimes. It's been a slice of cake.
Stop
Please
it. Stop.
You're such a mom.
I know. It's been a slice. What else
It's
could I?
been a
There's
slice.
nothing I could do.
There's nothing I
There's
could do.
nothing I could do.
There's nothing I could do.
Well, in the meantime, you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Bourbon Wine and True Crime. And you can also email us at bourbonwineandtruecrime@yahoo.com if you want any cases for us to cover, any stories.
Sure can.
Yeah, we're trying to start listener stories as soon as we get above 30 listeners. So tell your friends, leave us a good review, share the episodes,
Like and subscribe.
like and subscribe,
Leave a
Like and
comment.
subscribe.
leave a nice comment. Don't throw shade at my cat ears if you're on YouTube.
How could anyone?
They're so cute. They were a birthday present. And until next time, bye.
See you later.
Love you.
Love you.
Bye.